Okay, moving on in the agenda. May I have a motion to approve the superintendent's contract?
Motion to approve the resolution dated February 23rd, 2015, as stated below. Do I need to read that one? No.
Second. Comments or questions?
I have some comment.
Bill?
Well, I'd like to say that I've been on the board for quite a number of years. I've gone through quite a number of superintendent searches. It's 3 or 4 by now. And we've tried it a lot of different ways. We've done it where the board itself interviewed the candidates and made a decision. We've done it where we used a group of people comprised of administrators, teachers, other staff members, and the public to do the interviews and select the candidate. We've also done it where we've used an outside search firm to select the candidate. And for those of you who've been following the history of superintendencies in the district, you'll know we've gone through quite a few over the last 8 or 9 years. And so it's anybody who's been a manager and hired people, you know that how much you do your due diligence and how well someone does an interview, how many recommendations you get. The real proof of the pudding is when they come on board. And when you see somebody in action and you watch somebody at work, that's when you know if you picked a good person or not. So we have an advantage with our interim superintendent that we're going to make the permanent superintendent tonight, is she's gone through a more rigorous process than any of our other candidates have. In other words, she's been in the district. She's did two tours here as a assistant superintendent, and she did quite a good job at that. And she's been our interim superintendent since July of last year. And so she's not only have we had to interview her to talk about her capabilities and everything, but we've actually seen her in action, which is, to me, is a lot stronger way of selecting a candidate if you can do it. So I think we have a fine candidate that we're going to elect tonight as our superintendent, and I'm happy to say that we've gone through more research and proof of the pudding being her in action than we have with any of our other candidates. So we expect it to be a successful career here.
And I'm speaking tonight on behalf of the proposal to appoint Dr. Walkley to the superintendent position without going through a process. I understand what Bill was just saying, but I personally feel that the Board of Ed is acting irresponsibly in appointing a person to the superintendent position without taking the proper steps. I questioned the appointment of the interim position without going through a process or canvass. I understood that there was a time crunch and that the district would be without a person at that time, so I agreed going against my better judgment. I agreed without even seeing a resume or recommendation from prior work experience. I still have not seen these items. We are not in the same situation. I understand that the superintendent search may not have been the best experience for the district or veteran board members based on past results. I ask that we evaluate these processes and adjust, not remove completely. I ask, what information are we using to make this recommendation? We're making a recommendation based on our experiences as board members, which are limited. We represent the community. The community has a voice. Have we heard from the administrators, teachers, and parents and our students? How can we proceed without gathering all the required information from all community stakeholders? The public did not know about the proposed recommendation until the agenda was posted on Friday night. The school community found out a bit earlier through an email Friday afternoon. Neither stakeholder had time to express their feelings about the recommendation. I feel we are blindsiding the public and the school community. How is the decision going to maintain the confidence of the community in the board and the school district when the district's past history with this position speaks for itself? We are now appointing a person to this position without exhausting a process. As a community member, I try and understand every aspect of the school system, and the way we came to this recommendation follows no systematic approach. We did not ascertain the community's opinions and desires with respect to this appointment. The second concern that I have with this appointment is the length of the contract. The contract is for 3 years, 4 months, starting March 1st, 2015, and ends June 30th, 2018. I know the last two superintendents had 3-year contracts, and we needed to settle after a year of service, which created a financial burden on the district, among other concerns. Why not make it a 1-year, 4-month contract or a 2-year, 4-month contract? I'm expressing my concerns at this time as I feel we are making a rash decision without having all the required information. What is the rush to appoint at this time? We are not in the same position as we were in when we appointed the intern. Why not gather all information before making this decision? The interim appointment was for a year, which ends at the end of July. If we started this process now, we would have sufficient amount of time to go through the entire process. I am asking the Board of Ed members to explain their point of view and justify how they came to this decision so the community has a full and complete understanding of the decision being made. Some might say that the board has done their due diligence by evaluating the body of work that has been done while in the interim position. If this is the rationale, I would ask my fellow board members to share what they are referring to in regards to the body of work.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. Congratulations, Dr. Walkley. Welcome.